you see out of Jaquez in his first really true outing there on Saturday?
I think he handled the workload okay. I mean, he obviously would like to have more production with the ball in his hands, but the encouraging thing was he didn't have any mental errors, and he picked up a couple blitzes. So that was a couple areas that I know that he was wanting to really showcase himself. And then the other thing was he called me Saturday night. He said, Coach, he's like, picked up a couple blitzes. He said, didn't get the quarterback hit, and I didn't put the ball on the ground, Coach. So, he was just like, just grateful, and he's a tremendous young man. He's just going to continue to work and get better. But the game was moving a little fast. It was his first time out there. That's normal. But I think he'll settle in here and get rolling.
What did it mean for him, just personally for him to start, to be out there with that first group in the first series?
I mean, I think it meant everything, him coming from small town Arkansas. This is a dream come true just to be here, to make it out. And I know his family's really proud of him. And we are as well. It's on me as a coach to continue to, work on the areas that he needs to improve on while also instilling confidence in him that he can play. But at the same time, it's going to be incumbent upon him to understand where he is deficient and continue to improve those areas.
What did you see from Dylan?
Improvement. I thought I saw I saw him take a step in the right direction from the Notre Dame game. Looked a little bit more confident. And it's just with him, I have to remind myself that those two kids are the least experienced kids in my room. So, there's a certain I have to be delicate with them in the sense of they don't know everything all the time, and that's okay. Like, I just want them to play fast and be assignment sound in the most way that they can be. But at the same time, I want them to play their game. Like, don't be someone that they're not. Play their game. And I thought I saw improvement from him, and he'll be better as we continue to move forward.
He talked just how it's kind of been a whirlwind for him. He comes in January, he goes through spring, he's behind Xander and King and all these guys, and now game 4 and 5, he's carrying the load.
Right.
Just how has he kind of handled everything that's been thrown at him in a quick fashion?
Yeah, he's a very mature kid, and I think he's handled it very well. He's had, like you said, he's had a lot thrown on him early, and it's just a matter of can he handle the workload? And I think that he's done a good job with that because we've had some injuries, and so he's kind of had to double duty, playing some running back and some fullback. But he takes it seriously. He comes in, he studies the game. He's always asking questions. We meet pretty frequently, so we trust him that he can handle both of those responsibilities and still be effective.
What would you have thought in August, Chris, if I told you game 4 you're going to be starting a true freshman as backup's a redshirt freshman?
I say, well, let's go. That's the game. That's life sometimes. It's unpredictable. But as a guy goes down, there's always opportunity. There's always new guys that emerge. And the same thing kind of happened for me when I played many moons ago. I mean, a couple guys went down, one to ineligibility, another one to an injury, and all of a sudden I'm thrust into a role that I had to perform, and so I had to learn by the fire, and sometimes that can be a good thing. And so I think that kid, he's very mature, and he's just taking it to heart. And Dylan's done a good job. King is still in his ear. Xander's still in his ear. They're on the sideline coaching them up. So it's been great to have those two kids there in their leadership.
You think we'll see the wideouts involved anymore, Chris? I think I counted just 9 carries for wide receivers this year. I mean, I don't know if you can speak to it or not, but it seems like there's a sense of urgency maybe to get the ball into even more playmakers' hands.
Yeah, I mean, coach is going to call the game the best way he sees it, and we do have a bunch of good players at the wideout position, and so we'll do whatever we can to get our players the ball, and we'll get the ball to the running backs as well. I mean, we're not going to solely focus on getting to one position, but I think that Coach Brom is aware of what we do well and our strengths, and he'll get the ball in our playmakers' hands.
What of the Minnesota front? Kind of what strikes you about them and over the past few years, they've just been really physical up front. Anything changed in that regard?
Not really. I mean, they're still well coached. They've got size. They've got strength. I think they've got a young man that transferred in from Clemson, a really good program, and is doing a good job for them. They're stout inside. So we've got to do a good job of coming off the ball and really striking and being physical and being decisive with the ball in our hands through the line because they do a good job. They're well coached. They're disciplined in what they do. And they do just enough to kind of create a little confusion for the offense at times. So, we've got to make sure that we're assignment sound and go out and give it all we have.
Going back to Jaquez a little bit, I mean, he's got speed, but he wasn't dancing around or anything back there. You also talked about him just picking up blitzes and things like that. And it didn't really look like he was hesitant to, just hit the hole, right into the teeth of a Big Ten defense. Just how pleased were you with him just being able to go out and do that, even though, he may not have picked up as many yards as maybe he would have liked?
I was very pleased. I mean, that's kind of not all freshmen are ready, early on, at least at this stage in the season. But I thought he did a good job of handling the workload. I wanted to make sure I didn't put too much on him because I still want him to be confident in what he's doing because he's still learning a lot. I mean, there's so much happening all at once, and I thought he handled it well. He did throw it up in there. I mean, is he the biggest guy on the block? No, he's got to figure out how to be successful with the ball in his hands in this league, and we've got to do a good job as coaches of scheming it up and figuring out ways to get him the ball in space and things like that where he can have success early on until he gets a little stronger. But no, he's doing a good job, and he has no fear. He'll throw it up in there. He'll mix it up, and he's got a great personality, and he's a smart young man. So that in that regard, we trust him for sure.
How much of the playbook does he really have a grasp of? Does he know all of it? Do you feel 50% of it, 75?
The majority of it. I would say the majority of it at this stage. I mean, we've been meeting for a while now through Zoom. After he signed, we kind of started working through that, the early stages of the playbook, and every day he takes the field, it's like, he's a sponge. He's just continuing to soak up knowledge and put it into action, take it from the classroom to the field. So it's been beneficial for him to get the increased amount of reps, for sure, with a couple guys being out. I can see him growing by the day, answering questions in the film room. I mean, he's the first to answer a lot of times now. So whereas before that wasn't the case. So he's really a quick learner, and he's picking it up quickly.
What's the backstory on you recruiting him, and how'd you find him, and all that kind of stuff?
A contact in the area kind of told us about this young man. I think he was committed to South Dakota State at the time. And we turned the video on, and he was kind of what we were looking for, like a change of pace type of guy. We don't really have that in the backfield. Has some speed, has some quickness, can catch the ball out of the backfield, has great receiving skills. And so he gives us an element that we really didn't have. And so we reached out to him, did some homework, did obviously the academic background. He's a sharp student, a very responsible young man. So we were, the feeling was mutual, and kind of just went from there.
When I talked to Jeff this summer, he said he was one of those freshmen that kind of stood out during, not that you can watch all that, but during your summer workouts, he was a guy that maybe had separated a little bit and had shown some flashes of that speed. Is that kind of what you heard too from the off season?
Absolutely, it's just kind of what I heard as well. I mean, he obviously was gifted with the ball in his hands, but his ball tracking skills are probably one of the better on the team. He's got really elite ball skills. So in that regard, he can be effective as a runner and a receiver. So it gives us, again, another element that, we don't have many guys that can do that type of thing. And so we're excited about him. He's just young, and he's still learning and growing. And as he continues to figure out what a weight room is, he's going to be even better, you know what I mean? So, and continue to eat peanut butter and jelly. But he's done a great job. He's put on 20 pounds just since he's been here in June. And so he's going to continue to work, and that was one of the things that he noticed after the game last week is, Coach, I got to get a little stronger. And I said, yeah, you do. But we'll get there. We'll get there one day at a time, man. So, but he's good, and he's going to continue to improve.
Did you show him where the weight room?
Yes. I think he knows where it is now.